Okay, I was testing my audio and I found out that my microphone was off. Let's try this again. Can you let me know when you can hear me? Hey everybody, let's see if the microphone and the webcam work at the same time. There's a little bit of a lag I'm discovering. I think it was about 30 seconds from when I said that to when you guys responded. So we'll have to work around that today, but it should be okay. Can you see me okay? Yay, thank you. Oh wow, that lag is going to be fun. That'll be okay. All right, I'm going to have the PowerPoint up for most of the time, but I thought I would do a little bit of video too. Perfect. I got a new webcam to film my videos for this course I'm writing. So it's a little out of focus too, but I have to work out the kinks. If I can change that. Nope. All right, well, I'm going to throw out a poll into the polling area just to let me know who you are. And of course, the poll that I created last night is not there. But I will copy it in. All right, we're about to get started. I'm going to, in that polling area, you will see a question pop up. All right, here we go. Perfect. Okay, well, let's get started. It's 2:02 my time. And we have, let's see how many people. We have about 15 people here today. We had 83 people register. So hopefully we get some other folks in here in a minute. But welcome. My name is Cindy Ingram, and I run the website, The Art Curator for Kids. And it is a site dedicated to helping you talk about art with your children and students. And I have a mixed age group, or oh, sorry, I saw a question and then it distracted me. High school is age like 13 to 18 or 14 to 18. Yeah, secondary. Oh, my audience is mixed between about maybe 40 to 50% homeschool and about 60% teachers. So I'm interested to see, you know, if that is the same for those of you in here. The course that I'm going to tell you about today is a high school course. Also can be used as a community college course, and it's both for teachers and students. And so it works for both homeschoolers and teachers. Oh, it doesn't look like Paula can see us. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put up my PowerPoint now that you've seen me. Hello. I'll pop back on again later. let's get my PowerPoint running here. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint screen? Let me know if you can. I'm used to teaching in a different online format, so this using Google Hangouts is kind of new. So thank you for your patience as I work out the kinks in this. My first time in here, which I played around with it before, but okay. So today our session is more than making, the benefit of looking at art with kids. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things, mainly why we should look at art with kids, why art is more than just making art. So that's what that more than making is. So, and we're going to talk about kind of ways that I do that. And then as well, we will talk about my new program at the end that I'm working on right now, which is a art history course. Okay, so here's our everything I just said, but I was on the wrong slide. So we're going to discuss our desired role of art in our children's lives, answer the question, what do students learn when looking at art? We'll practice looking at and talking about art and discuss ways to engage in works of art with our kids, and then have a question and answer period, as well as go over the new program. Tracy, okay, it says you're requesting to be speaker. Let me know. Do you have a question that you want to ask on there? Let me know in the chat. We might wait till the end. And remember, there's a lag. So if I ask a question and I don't refer to your response, it means I haven't seen it yet, but that's all right. So let me introduce myself. My name is Cindy Ingram, and that's me there with my two children. I have two little girls. They're ages 3 and 6, and they're delightful. I have a bachelor's in art history from the University of Texas in Austin. I have a master's in art education with a art museum focus from the University of North Texas. And then I have an experience in just about everywhere that you can teach art. So I've taught in museums and nonprofits, elementary for 2 years, and community college for 4 years. And then for the last 5 years, I've been an online middle and high school teacher. So I've been teaching online for quite a long time. I've just recently quit my job to work on this. And so I'm excited to be kind of jumping into this whole website blogging thing full time. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on right now. It's very much fun. So I have a husband who's a computer programmer and 2 lovely little girls. So I started the Art Curator for Kids about a year ago. It was in April of 2014. I started a website called Two Muses Homeschool because I was planning on homeschooling. So I was planning on writing about my homeschool journey. And then I started writing about art stuff. And I was like, well, this art stuff is too much fun. I got to keep writing about that. Excuse the trash truck going by. I'm hoping you can't hear that. So I found myself, that's where I really enjoyed putting most of my time. And I found as a teacher, the last 10 to 15 years, every time I would look something up online, how to teach about a specific art movement or how to teach about a specific painting, I wouldn't find anything. I would find maybe a picture of the painting, maybe a museum label, but nothing else. And if I would find art lessons online, it would it might be an art project about Renaissance art or whatever, but it would say, the the first line would be explain Renaissance art and then do the project. And I was like, well, I want more information about that. How do you teach about Renaissance art part? That's where I really love, to put my focus in how to teach art history in engaging and exciting ways. So I decided, well, I would write the website that I have been looking for every time I'm Googling. And so I rebranded to Art Curator for Kids in October of 2014. And here I am. And the blog is doing really well, and I'm having such a good time with it. And now I'm launching my second component, Museum Art School, which I will tell you about at the end. This session will last about 30 to 45 minutes. And you can feel free to ask questions in the chat as we go. Just keep in mind that I might see them a little bit delayed, but I'll answer them when they pop up. Okay, let me get to the next slide. Okay, so the poll is in the polling area. I think most of you have already answered it. And our poll is, we've got a lot of teachers. So I advertised this as sort of the session for homeschool, and I invited everybody. And we have about 37% parents, and the rest are teachers. And I know there's like way more categories than exist at this in this poll. I think every single one of you could be in your own category of what you do, because I at one point was both an elementary teacher and a community college teacher at the same time, and a mom. So it was like, well, what do I answer? But the program I'm going to tell you about is for high school specifically, and then I will open it for future grades. Once I finish with the high school course, I will add elementary and middle courses in there too. I'm just starting with the high school one because that's the one I have the most materials available with my community college lessons and stuff. Does anyone else have a frozen screen too? Please let me know. Yes, I do have a Facebook page. It is facebook.com/Art Curator for Kids. Okay, let me try something else. Is that better? Okay. We can't do the full screen version of the PowerPoint. Learned that. Sorry about that. Okay, let me go back and I'll just show you the other slides I've already shown. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong page. There we go. Okay. This was our webinar objectives. You don't need to log on to Facebook. Someone had asked. Okay, sorry guys. Good. All right, so this was the information I've already mentioned. And then I just had this one, which was the Art Curator for Kids. And then we were on the polling slide. Oh man, it's going slow. Okay. Oh, that's frustrating. Yes, I would love to give you a copy. That would be fine. All right. Okay. Now I want you to answer this question, and hopefully it's moving for you guys now. But the question is, in 20 years, what role do you want art to play in your children's lives? So think about them, and if you don't have children, your students, think about them in 20 years from now, and what do you hope, what difference do you hope to make by introducing art in their lives? And I apologize for any gap right now. This lag is longer than I expected. But I'll give you a second to answer the question on the screen. All right, so I've got some answers coming in here. Again, sorry for the lag. But we have, you want them to be another vehicle to understand the world, keep them open-minded and creative. That's very important. To appreciate art and other world cultures. Excellent. Any other thoughts on this question? Good, to appreciate art from around the world and to be confident artists. That's good. Culture and beauty and just to love it. And really, every time I ask this question to teachers, and I've asked it in other presentations before, most of the time, the answers are unrelated to actually making art. It's unrelated to drawing or painting, and we have a few things like some of you mentioned, being confident artists and that your children like to make art. But usually when I ask that, well, in 20 years, what do you want to happen thing? It usually, these other areas of art kind of start to trickle through with that question. And when I tell people that I'm an art teacher, and I'm sure you get this all the time as those of you in the room who are art teachers, is when I say that I'm an art teacher, people say, oh, I can't draw. That's the first thing they always say every single time I tell them that I'm an art teacher. But art is so much more than drawing. It is so many things. It is understanding life and the human spirit, feeling emotion and expressing emotion, connecting to the past, connecting to other cultures, connecting to other people, thinking critically, looking closely, knowing yourself and knowing others. These are all just really important aspects of art that we might not just think about in our day-to-day life when we are introducing art to our kids. So some other comments about this question have popped up in the chat while I was saying that, so I'm going to highlight some of those. Observe what is out there, see with artist eyes. I love that. Our world is so bombarded with images everywhere all the time. And here's a little picture showing that and they're fast paced. We've got the iPads and the phones and the commercials and the advertisements, and everywhere we turn, there is an image, and they are fast. And when we put a child or a student in front of a work of art, it allows them to stop and think and focus for just a second, and that is so valuable. And we want them to really understand that how to decipher all this visual input that they're getting throughout their day. So I love what Tracy said here, and I'm going to try this broadcast thing. And hopefully you should be able to see it pop up at the bottom of your screen. It's the last thing people said. There's not very many people in here, so you saw it. But I want them to understand that art is all around us, to find opportunities to stop and find beauty, and to be able to use art as a positive outlet of expression. So I think that's awesome. There's so much art has to offer, and we know that. For the art teachers in the room, and I mean, if you're here, you know that and you understand that. It's a valuable thing. So some other important aspects of art, and I already touched on it when I was talking about the barrage of images, is teaches students to stop and focus and be aware and observe little things in the world. And it helps us kind of understand what we're seeing a little bit more, and notice small details that we might have overlooked in the busyness of everyday life. Other things that we learn and our students learn from looking at art is higher order thinking. So, looking at something and not just looking at it and walking away, but stopping and thinking about it, finding out what's happening, coming up with stories, coming up with solutions to problems. These are all things that your students can learn by spending time looking at art. And so that's why I've really dedicated the Art Curator for Kids to learning about works of art and focusing on individual works of art, because looking at art is such a valuable thing. And then some things we've already touched on in the chat, which are connecting to other cultures, learning, just like Denise says here, learning how people view the world around them, and we become more aware of the world around us and around the world. And I think that's so important, because we can kind of get stuck in our bubble and get used to what's around us. And when we look at the cultural products of people from around the world, they become more real to us. We start to understand them more. We start to become global citizens, and we strive to help the people around, around the world. And just really kind of opens us up and our kids. And then just being curious and wondering about what the world has to offer, understanding ourselves and each other is important. Okay, so now I want to ask, did you get my email or look at the blog post with the homework assignment? I asked you in the blog post to look at a work of art with your child or your students. I know if you're a teacher, you might not have students right now, so you might not have been able to do that. But did you have a chance to look at this artwork? And first answer, what questions did you ask your child about this artwork? When you introduced it, if you did this assignment, what did you say first? The responses are humorous. I like that. I had my students write haikus about this one once. No, it wasn't haikus. It was tweets about this painting, and it was really funny what they came up with about this one. I got some vampire comments. I thought it was like this vampire situation. Good. So you asked the question, what do you see? Stop what you're doing and look at this. I do that too. I'm like, hey, you want to look at this picture with me? And sometimes they say, yeah. And sometimes they're like, no, get out of here. What's the first thing you see? That's a good question. What do you think is going on and why? Good. How does it make you feel? Excellent. That's usually always my first question too, is what's going on? And I'll tell you why I asked that question in a little bit after we keep talking about this painting for a minute. Talked about the story, what kind of story, and then how the colors help tell the story. That's good. What is the relationship between the figures? Excellent. Yeah, I figured some of you wouldn't be able to talk about this with your kids, or you wouldn't have any kids around you. Lucky you. Okay, great. So these are all excellent questions that you started with. Now tell us, what ideas did your child have about the meaning? What did they say when you asked them these questions? What did they think was happening? I'm sorry you didn't get the notification, Paula. You might have signed up since I think it was sent 3 days before the webinar, so you might have missed it. You might have signed up since then. Well, I'm Kush. I see that you said you find asking these questions hard. Well, I will have some tips for you today. So hopefully you will become more confident talking about art with your kids after the session today and after reading a little bit more. Okay, now that this lag has gone through, I'm starting to see your answers for what ideas your child had about the meaning. So the color combination was disturbing, and I think that's a great comment. This artist was really good at those disturbing color combinations. It's the same artist who did the Scream painting. They got the title of Separation. They saw that. They saw the man is clearly hurting. Good. So she died and is an angel going away. And oh, I like that observation of the dark face contrasting with the light hand. Oh, see, kids are so good. I love talking about art with the kids. They just get it, they have no problem. And that's, I think, the biggest tip when talking about art with your kids is they know how to do it. The kids know how to do it. So you just kind of have to, just like you would talk about them with anything. You see a dog going on the street and you talk about the dog, it's the same thing. The pictures in a children's book, you just follow up with what they say. You ask things like, well, what do you see that makes you say that? And probe them a little bit more. But the kids just naturally, they know this. They know how to do it. Their minds are primed for this. A heart attack with the woman leading to heaven. Oh, I didn't see the stork. I can see the stork now. Oh, that's interesting. Excellent. How the woman sort of blends in or comes up off the sand and kind of is blowing away in the wind. So they're noticing the choices that the artist makes and how that is contributing to the meaning. So they're noticing the contrasting colors and the flowing lines of the woman and how I wonder if you probably can see my mouse, and how this flowing line makes her sort of wispy, like she could just blow away in the wind. Oh, I love that. They said that the bush looked like two people. It kind of does. It's like they're kind of hugging here. Oh, that's clever. I like that. Excellent. So, what surprised you about discussing this artwork with your child? That my 13-year-old actually thinks that deeply. I'm going to broadcast that one. I like that. I love it. They really do. They have a ton to say. If you just give them time to say it and give them that space to say it, that's great. Oh, and especially, the older kids, they're full of all those feelings, so they can definitely relate to that. Oh, an angel coming to repair his broken heart. That's super sweet. And one of my favorite ways to learn about art and to teach about art is to slow down, and give it time. When you take an art history course and you oftentimes it's just that the professor up there talking and going through all the information pretty quickly. When I was in college, they would put two artworks on the screen at the same time, and he would talk about them, and then they would quickly go to the next one, and then you're like, I need time to process these. And we would look at 40 paintings in an hour and a half, and I'd be like, that wasn't enough time to process. So going slow is valuable. It's and really spending time with each one. I'm seeing the stork as like this being maybe like the beak, and this like the head. Am I saying that? Whoever, Elisa, when your daughter saw the stork, because I keep pointing at my screen. I should be pointing on this screen over here, about 2 monitors. This is the beak here, and then the head, and then the body, maybe. At least when the lag is up, you can actually hear what I'm saying. Tell us if that's what if I'm getting that right. Oh, that's so, she kept looking and then she saw it. And that's why we keep looking. Awesome. Ooh, this is like a boat to take her to the other side. Oh, I love it. See, we could just talk forever about an individual work of art, and kids can too. I've sat with kids with one work of art for 20, 30 minutes. And because well, maybe not just one, but like, a group. It's easier with a group, but okay. So that was awesome. Your kids are very bright and wonderful. Okay. So when looking at art, art is a multitude of different things. So it is form plus theme plus context equals art. And I actually just learned this recently. I was looking for something and I found this advocacy white paper. It was on the NAEA website. And I thought this was great because it shows all of the key components of art. And sometimes we can get fixated on one thing. We can focus on just the context. We look at a painting and we were like, okay, who's the artist? Let's learn about the artist. Let's learn about when they made this, why they made it, who made it, and then just stop there. But there's a lot more to really focus on. We can spend a lot of time analyzing the choices the artist made, and that's in the form category. The form is basically all of the physical, visual characteristics, what it's made from, how it was made, the elements and principles of art, like how they use line, shape, color, emphasis, balance, that long list of things, how it was designed, the style that it was painted in, and stuff like that. So this is a whole topic you can spend, a long time on. And then there's the meaning of it too, which, these things are all interrelated, but, what's the subject matter? What is the artist trying to say? What's the meaning? And so when you or what's the word I'm looking for? Not interject. When you, I don't know, add these all together, you've got a really complicated and fun and beefy and interesting thing to talk about. And all of that is in one object that you can spend time looking at with your children. So I recommend this advocacy white paper thing. And I don't have the link with me right now, but if I remember, I will send it out in my newsletter. So if you're not on my newsletter, if you go to, well, you're on the Museum Art School newsletter by coming here, but that's not really a newsletter right now. If you go to Art Curator for Kids /subscribe, you can get on my email list if you're not already there. Okay. So let's talk about some other ways to look at art, some more tips. And here they are. My number one way that I usually start with when looking at art, and I think a lot of you naturally started there too, whether you know about visual thinking strategies or not, is you ask, what's going on in this picture? That is usually the first question I ask, because they can say anything with that question. They can talk about the story, they can talk about the colors, they can talk about just about anything. And so it's just a really nice open-ended question. And then you follow it up with, what do you see that makes you say that? So they're making an observation. So they might have noticed in this painting that's on the screen that they think that the man is kidnapping the woman. I get that a lot with this painting. And then I say, well, what do you see that makes you say that? And so they look closer and they're like, oh, you know what? He's not holding on to her at all. She's grabbing a hold of him. So maybe not. Maybe they're running away together. And so it makes them look more. It makes them think more about it. And, keeps them in it and keeps them thinking. So starting with what's going on in this picture, and then following it up with, what do you see that makes you say that, can get you a long, long way. And then you keep going. What more can you find? What more can you find? What else is going on? And you can spend the whole time with those 3 questions, and that's enough, because they will just keep talking. They'll keep noticing that what more can you find, and then you pause and wait. Wait for them to keep thinking, and they'll come up with something. I'm the queen of awkward silences after I ask a question, because I know that in that awkward silence after you ask the question, you're going to get some good stuff that comes out of the kids. So making sure you don't rush through and you give them time to answer each question and give them time to really look and think. So that strategy is called visual thinking strategies, and it was developed by 2 people, Philip Yenawine and Abigail Housen. They have a Visual Thinking Strategies Institute, and they teach a lot of people this method. You can actually get certified in it and all this stuff. But you can watch videos of people using that method online, and it's kind of interesting because they will actually ask just those 3 questions. Another way to look at art is this process called art criticism, and that is description. And there's actually multiple ways people do art criticism. This is probably the most common one, which is you do 4 steps: description, analysis, interpretation, and evaluation. So you're seeing in each step, you kind of go in a very regimented way. You start by just describing what you see. This is a man and a woman. They're wearing these clothes. They've got this cave behind them, and there's water, and there might be some people back here. He's got 2 weapons, just kind of listing what you see and stuff like that. And analysis, that's when you start to get in analyzing composition, the elements and principles of art. So you're learning, okay, well, this is a curved line here, and then his bottom arm makes another curved line, and so that kind of forms an oval around the woman. Yes, the question, can you repeat the method, just popped through for me. And it is visual thinking strategies right here. I'm going to try to highlight it. It's shortened VTS. If you just Google VTS, you'll probably find a ton of stuff. So in analysis, you're talking about, the contrasting colors, the lines, the movement, that sort of thing. And then in interpretation, you start to figure out, well, what's the story? What's the meaning? What's the message? Why did the artist make these choices that we figured out in description and analysis? what does this oval around the woman signify? Why is it, what's all this movement in their clothing signify, and stuff like that. And then an evaluation is you state your opinion. So you can say, oh, I don't like this, and this is why. Or, you know, the artist did a really good job at this. That happens in evaluation. And then you can develop questioning strategies for this, for artworks. But the most important thing is using open-ended questions. I'm typing this in. Oh, my caps lock turned on. Typing this in for Denise. Typing is hard with my microphone in my way. There we go. But the most important thing is open-ended, but also backing up with evidence from the artwork. So everything that they say, they have to back up. You know, I think this is happening. Well, why do you think this is happening? What did the artist do to make you think that was happening? And so that kind of backs up, makes them think about what the assumptions that they're making. And it helps them not only understand art more in the future, but also, you know, how to become better artists themselves. When I'm coming up with questioning strategies for classes, I often, you know, if I'm having a hard time coming up with questions, I often will go to Bloom's taxonomy to get me some ideas for questions, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. But really focus on looking closely and how the choices of the artist impact the meaning and the feelings in the paintings, or I always say paintings, but it's the artworks. So Bloom's taxonomy is okay, I'm on the right slide. Basically a hierarchy of critical or higher order thinking. So at the bottom of this chart, which I found on this website, just deciding my source here, the bottom of the chart is sort of the basic thinking, kind of the easiest thinking. And then as you get up, these are like the harder questions that take more time to think, that use your brain a little bit more. And what I love about this is I love these words underneath here. There's a website that has these words. There's like 100 words in each category. And so you can look at it and I can be like, okay, devise. What can I do about this artwork to use the word devise? And so that helps you think of more advanced questions. And that works really well for me when I'm trying to come up with questions. And it's 2:42 my time right now, so I was going to have you make a list of questions, but I don't want us to go over the hour that I had planned, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But this is a great resource, and you can just Google Bloom's taxonomy as well and find all sorts of information for helping you come up with questions. And this is S says that it's a very striking picture, and I love talking about this picture with kids. I used to work at the Kimball Art Museum in Fort Worth, and this is in their collection. But it's just such a great, it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of story, that it was from Lord Byron. It's from the Romantic period. And the story is just really cool. They're running off together, and then, you know, she was supposed to marry somebody else, and they're chasing her down, and he's a pirate, and they're going to the ocean to get to his boat, and he shoots his gun in the air to signal the boat where to go. And that also signaled, you know, her dad and all the people chasing them where they were. And then her dad ended up killing Selim, and Zuleika died of a broken heart. So it's a very beefy painting. I always had such a good time talking about this one with kids, because it has a lot of really cool storytelling elements, but then the artist made a lot of really good choices to help us understand that painting a little bit more. Okay, so this is just, you know, some questions that I might ask about this painting, just to give you an idea of some other types of questions you can ask. But again, I always start with the 3 visual thinking strategies questions. What's going on in this painting? What do you see that makes you say that? What else do you notice? But asking about the relationship, describing the people, all of that. describing the style, how it's painted, what's happened before, what will happen next. Okay, I got a question here. It just popped up. Sorry about the lag again. Kush says, to get some insight into analyzing artwork, how do you keep children engaged? Well, there is one is to ask interesting questions, ask a lot of follow-up questions so you kind of keep them thinking. But I also have tons of activities I use, and I have tons of them on my website already, but I'm going to point you to, sorry, I don't know what you can see right now. So just a second while I get a link for her. I have a lot of activities that I use in my website, and one of them is I have some worksheets, and you'll see in the worksheets that I have like write tweets about a painting, or write a haiku about a painting, stuff like that. I do a lot of fun activities like that, or draw the sculpture, or have one kid look at it and the other kid have the back to it, and then have the kid that's looking at it describe it, and then the kid that's not looking at it draw it. There's a lot of little things that you can do like that. So you can poke around on my website and find a lot of stuff like that. And on Friday, the webinar on Friday that I'm doing, I'm going to do a lot more other activities. So that's kind of like a second part to this one. And so that's actually on the next slide. So there's lots of activities you can do with art, discussing and writing about it, guided practice activities, comparing, grouping, and categorizing activities, and creative activities. I have tons of these ready, and I am going to talk about these specifically on Friday in my next webinar, which is Rethinking Art in the Dark, How to Teach Art History Without Lecture. So that one will be kind of more specific activities that you can do. So today was focused on discussing and why you should do it, and then Friday we'll talk about the nitty-gritty and what more you can do. So you can register for that by going to artcuratorforkids.com/webinars. And I know a lot of you that are enrolled in this one, we're also enrolled in that one too. So hopefully I'll see you there. Okay, so that is my presentation on the topic. So now I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about my new program, Museum Art School. So what it is for students. It is and I'll have time for questions at the end too, if you have questions that you want to ask. For students, it is a year-long high school art history course. If you have like a bright, like 8th grade, all day long I kept getting the date wrong. I was calling today the 21st all day long. Thank you. Change that right now. I went to the doctor with my daughter this morning. I put the date wrong on just about everything that I filled out there. Okay. So that like an 8th grader would probably be okay in this course too. It's basically my community college curriculum put into a course, which is it's high school level. Community college and high school level are pretty similar. So it has a variety of lesson formats with video and audio, live lessons like this in this webinar classroom, reading assignments, interactive and varied learning activities like I put writing assignments twice. Reading assignments, written assignments, discussion boards, art projects, tests and quizzes, lots and lots of different types of assignments. And it is not a lot of lecture. So it is thinking and working hard while having fun. So my students have a good time, but they do have to work. So just a warning there. Sorry, 8th grade is what, 13? Age 13? Yeah. And yes, after the replays, if you're registered for it, you'll get the email with the replay the next day. And then after they're both done, I'll send it out to my email list, both of the recordings as well. But you'll automatically get the replay sent to you. I would say probably 13, 13 and up. Even if you're adult and you want to take it, you want to learn more about our history, you're welcome to take it too. So there's also a teacher component, and I know we have a lot of teachers in the room. And the teachers get all of the materials that they would need to teach. Oops, I meant to look up what I was going to type there, and I never did. There you go. All the materials you would need to teach these same lessons. So you'd get to see the videos that I present in the course, and then you can get all the PowerPoints that I used, all the printables, activity sheets, assignment sheets, all the tests and quizzes, and any images you would need to print or anything like that. You would get access to those files. So you basically get the whole course to use in your classroom. So let me show you the contents of the course, and then I'll kind of give you a little tour. It's not complete yet. I'm launching the course begins in September, and then I'm launching it today. So you can start purchasing today if you would like to join the course. But it covers all of our history. It's going to be a huge, huge course. The first unit is an introduction to art criticism. So it's all the art basics, aesthetics, which is the philosophy of art. So we have a lot of hypothetical discussion questions and things like that to get the students thinking. Materials and processes, like all the vocabulary words they need to know, like the different ways of making sculpture, the different types of painting, stuff like that. The elements and principles of art, line, shape, color, etc. And then the art criticism. So we go through those 4 steps of art criticism and practice writing art criticism papers and stuff like that. And then how to study art history to get them ready. And then the rest of the course is pretty much everything from prehistory all the way to contemporary art. So it's a full year. So if you have a high school student, it'd be 1 credit of credit. And they cover lots and lots and lots of topics. I'm not going to just read you this list. Oh, I have a typo. But it's a very big list of stuff. And it has, it's not going to be all released in, yeah, let me answer your question in just a second, Kush. I just saw it. It's not all going to be released at once. So you won't have access to the whole course at once. I'll release units each unit about a month in advance. So in September, the introduction to art criticism unit will be released, and then the next month I'll do the ancient classical unit, and so they'll be up there before you're ready to get to them. And yeah, if you want to do group booking, contact me and we can work something out. You'll see that on my frequently asked questions. I haven't set that up yet, but I do have a plan on offering licensing for school districts and stuff like that. I just haven't set that part of it up yet. Okay, so let me give you a quick tour. It's not going to take very much time. Just want to give you a little overview. Okay. So this is the course, the first unit of the course, the Introduction to Art Criticism. This is what it looks like from the inside once you're logged in. You can see we have lots of lessons, and this plugin I'm using for this website annoys me because it's calling them modules and units, and I would have called them units and lessons. So each of these things that are called units are really one lesson, but I can't change that, and it's driving me crazy. But I need to tell them that they're not doing it right. Okay, so you can see we have kind of introduction to looking at art. We have a lot of what is art stuff, philosophy stuff, just the stuff I was mentioning. All the different art medias, the different elements and principles of art. And then, so you can see. And so I'm going to click on a couple that I have ready to demo. So here's an example of a lesson, the 4 steps of art criticism. There's a video that they would watch. And in this case, there's going to be a live lesson on 4 steps of art criticism. And the recording for that live lesson will be in the course right here for them to watch. And then if you're a teacher, you have a special teacher account where you'll see all of the teacher resources, and these will be linked to get everything that you would need to teach this lesson. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm starting over. Oop, that's me. Screen share. Goodness gracious. Hold on one second. I forgot I had just the PowerPoint showing and not the... Okay. Tell me that you can see my web browser now. Okay, sorry. I thought I had my whole screen showing. Turns out I just had the program showing. So that is a trouble. That was sorry. I'm working up the kinks. All right. So this is what I was just showing you about the course, what it looks like on the inside when you're logged in. So I'm just kind of scrolling down. Everything I just said applies to this when I was talking about the units and modules. And then you can see if your student is taking the course, we've got it's green checked if they finish that lesson. So you can see what they've done. Rael, let me, can I ask that? And I'll answer that question after, if you don't mind. Okay, so let me go back into this lesson. So I was in the 4 steps of art criticism lesson. And here, so there's the video. And then if your student is taking the course and you don't want the teacher components, this won't be shown to your student. Teachers have a special teacher membership that they can see this part, but if you don't have the teacher membership, you don't see this part. So that will be there. And then, so here's the activity instructions. After they watch the video, then they come and, still on slide 24. I'm gonna just pause for just a minute. Let me know if you can see this artwork on the screen with the Goya, with the guy with the white shirt and the yellow pants. Okay. Oh, thank you. This lag is great. Okay. So this is a quiz that they would take. It's not really a, somebody can't see it. Oh, okay. So like, this activity is they've learned about the 4 steps of art criticism, and then they read these questions. The artist uses line, color, and light to create emphasis, and then they have to decide, which step of art criticism that statement is referring to. So these are, with art history, they'll get quizzes where they're tested on the material that they've learned, but there's also a lot of assignments where they're thinking exercises like this one. So this is just an example. And so they would click on their answers. I'm just going to pick random ones because I didn't read the statements. And then they click submit answers. and then they can see how they did. So I didn't do well because, oh no, I did. I got the right ones and I didn't even read them. And so they can download the results, and you can see there's a PDF that there's quiz results. It has an explanation for all the answers. And so they have this as a document that they can go back to and, refer to if you need to see proof, that they're doing their work and that sort of thing. So, and that's always in the course. You can go back and find it. Go back. So that's just an example of one type of lesson, a video with a follow-up thinking exercise. And then another one is a video. This video is just like a quick overview of the assignment, but then they have a writing assignment where they have to choose a work of art and they have to write a paper about it. And then they write it in their Word document and then they paste it into here, which I've already done just to show you what it looks like once they've already submitted it. But it's the same thing. You can download their papers on here and have a PDF printable version, which is really useful. So the course is not graded except for the quizzes that are like the assessments that have correct answers. But you are provided like rubrics and things like that, so you can make sure that they're doing their work and following up on it. Okay, so that's what the course looks like. And it's 3 o'clock right now, which is what I wanted to end at. So let me show you too. One more thing, we have live lessons with the membership. We have about 2 to 6 live lessons per month, and those are basically recorded and built into the course. So you can see in August, I've got 5 live lessons scheduled, and they can come in here and I'll teach a lesson on these topics. And so it's just the same system we're in right now, this webinar jam classroom. And you would register for them just like you did to register for this one. No, they're not all multiple choice. I have some of them are like a short answer, and those I do go in and have to grade. And so I'll go in and just give a completion grade, just see how well they did and give them a quick grade on it. And they're not quizzes on every single one. It's not like, you watch a video, then you take a quiz, and then you watch a video, and then you take a quiz. It's not like that. Every lesson is so different. Oh, no. Okay, so that is the course. If you're interested in it, you can learn more again on Friday at my next webinar, but you can also head over to the membership options page, and you can see more information about what your membership gets you, or what your purchasing the course gets you. Make sure if you're a teacher, click on teachers, and if you are if you are doing it for your kid homeschool, click on the high school students button, and it'll take you to the forms to sign up for the class. And so you can sign up for, I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. There's me again. Okay. Why is my PowerPoint not open? There it is. These are the prices, and this is the pre-sale pricing. It might go up at the end when it launches in September. But basically there's 4 options. You can pay monthly and just, pay month to month, and it automatically recurs until you cancel. If you were to buy that option today, you would get, it wouldn't start billing until September, because that's when the course is launching live. Same thing with if you want to do a 3-month option, it recurs every 3 months, but it doesn't start charging until September. So all those, you still get all those live lessons in August. And then you can buy the first semester, and that is auto renewing too, assuming you would want the second semester, but you can always cancel. And then you could just buy the full year as well. So those are your 4 options. Click on that. Oops, what did I just do? Click on that membership options page for more information. And yes, that's it. So thank you so much for coming. And I'm here for questions. Okay, so first question is when the version for elementary will be available. So it kind of depends. My goal is next year because it's going to take, a full year to like get this written. But if I tend to go faster, it could be sooner, but I can't guarantee anything. I got to see kind of how it goes. But I hope to have an elementary option and a middle school option, and then keep writing them because it's really fun. The semester goes until the end of January, so it's about 6 months from today, but it's about 5-month semesters. And the credits are, I was talking with some homeschool teachers. I was at a blogging conference this weekend, and I was like, they kept asking me what the credits are. And I was like, well, I thought everybody did that differently. And she was like, I was like, do I need to get accredited? But anyway, you are in control of your credits. So I don't have any sort of crediting system, but it would be equivalent to 1 year of fine arts. So a full 1 year period, or you could do half and do half, get a half credit too. So yes, there will be a replay, and it will be emailed to you tomorrow, I think, automatically. And then I will also send it out to my email list probably on Monday. Yeah, I know elementary is probably going to be more popular, but it was easier for me to start with high school because that's what I've been teaching for the last 5 years. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back to the question that we had about the prints. Let's see. Okay, so Rael asked, I'm going to broadcast so we can see the question. Well, maybe I did. I don't know if I did or not. I've lost the question. Okay, finding prints. One way to find prints, there's some Dover art little books with postcards. Those are awesome. They're cheap too. Another thing is calendars. After the school year ends, or no, after January starts and everyone's bought their calendars, they discount them heavily, and you can buy artist calendars for just like a couple dollars, and you just cut them up. So that's another option. Those are my two best options. Oh, and somebody emailed me this, and I forgot who it was. I think she was coming today. Oh, if it was you, thank you for the idea. She would find cheap art books, and she would buy 2 copies, and then she'd cut them up and use them as prints. And because if you have it on 2 sides, so if you find an art book on sale, just buy it and chop it up and use those as art prints. I thought that was a great idea. All right. Catherine says, would you be willing to offer staff development courses to school districts? Absolutely. I would love to do that. I used to work in a professional development role, and I love it. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. You can just, if you go to either my website /contact, you'll find my email. But you probably have an email from me that you can reply to too. Okay. Andy, you're typing. Yeah, I didn't really understand what you were saying. So, but I assumed I got the gist that your kids are pre-K to 5th, and you would do this later. Okay, Paula, yes, it will get sent to your email tomorrow, and then I will also email it out next week, probably, again, to everybody. All right, any other questions? I so enjoyed you guys coming today. You're welcome to leave if you don't have any questions. Otherwise, I will stick around until everybody is gone, and you can ask whatever you want. Hope to see you again on Friday. Again, you can go to artcuratorforkids.com/webinars to sign up for the next one. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Bye. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you for coming. All right. You're welcome. All right, there's a few more people in here, so I just want to make sure that if you have any questions, that I'm here to answer them. Otherwise, I will see you another time. Thank you for coming. Okay, let me think. Medieval art and times class for 3rd to 5th grade, 6th to 8th grade. I can't think of any particular resource for that. There is a really, the only thing I've got, and it's not much, but there is a website where you can zoom in on the mosaics of the Byzantine churches, one of the Byzantine churches, and it's really cool. And let me open up my PowerPoint for that lesson to see if I can find out what link that is. What would that be on? Can't even remember. I think it's. I can't even remember the name of the church. I don't know why. All right, Middle Ages. Oh, you can see my PowerPoint. This is an old PowerPoint. I have to see if that link is still on here. Nope. Okay, not that one. Oh, I can't find the link. Oh, there it is. Let me see if that link still works. Yeah, it does. That's all I've got. It's not very, it's not much. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the webinar right now. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me at artcuratorforkids.com/contact, or you can just reply to any of the webinar emails that you've gotten.